Because it happens more often than not.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
exactly. But
That's so sad.
And that kind of brings us to children with disabilities. Do you think like children with mental disabilities should be able to, do the regular things normal kids would do, like as far as like attending school and stuff? Like, should they be able to be in the classroom?
like children
Yes.
with autism
Absolutely.
and stuff like that. Do you think that?
Absolutely.
I mean, it gets kind of hard. I mean, for instance, my son had an issue with a young boy that had autism that was in his class, and the boy kept bothering Dante. I guess they have they get infatuated on one thing, and he got infatuated with my son, and there was something about him that he just had to bother Dante. So every day there was always something. He was pushing him in line, or poking him, or hitting him, or kicking him. He put a tack in his shoe. I mean, this kind of things. And they wanted him in class to be around everybody else, but I mean, it wasn't working, because you have my son that is really, you're trying to explain to another child who does not have this issue, to tell him to hold back, because this little boy, has an issue, tell the teacher. But after a while, when it goes on for months and months, and this boy is like constantly pressing my son, it's like at the end of the day, he wants to burst, and it's hard, because what do? They want them to be in the classroom with the other kids, but a lot of them, they're not able to be in the classroom. Like, he had a helper that walked around with him every single where. And I mean, almost like being in jail. She had to go with everywhere with him. You know what I mean? Yeah. So why do you want that in a school, to interact with other children?
Well,
that
do you really want to know? Because my best friend, she is a special eds educator, and and she runs into this constantly, and it serves two purposes. One, it teaches children without disabilities empathy, sympathy, and compassion. Number one, okay? As well as it also helps them learn to educate others. You see what I'm saying? It brings it into perspective to say that even though we're all different, we all have to function in society together. This is where it starts.
Which makes sense, but with this school, they didn't really want to tell my son what he had. This is the problem. They're not telling these kids that there's something wrong with these children.
And
they want to keep it away from
That's
them.
where the school goes wrong, because by law, and she works up in Washington, so I don't know if how Oregon's school system works like that, but they probably should look into it if they haven't, which basically is to say that, no, these kids should have someone with them to help identify, so that, because they are children with disabilities. They're not going to have the same understandings, wiring, and function, but doesn't mean that they can't live normal, happy lives. In fact, many kids with disabilities, autism, Downs, whatnot, are extremely happy, and there's nothing wrong with that. If we could all take note from that, you know what I mean?
Exactly. But what do you do when you're a parent that is constantly dealing with the same person doing that to your child? See, I'm the parent on the other end. I do get that.
Right.
And I do hope that if my son was in that predicament, that he could be around, because there are some kids that work okay, and there's some kids who don't have disability that is something different. You know what I mean? But I don't want it to be an excuse for my son's life to be in danger.
Right.
Tax and shoes.
Yeah, no, that's
and say I'm going to kill you and things like that.
And that's where the age should come in and be.
We gotta be.
And that's where the school's messing up. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be that the kids get taken out of that environment. It should be, no, this is how you resolve that conflict. You, as a student aide, need to make sure that you're keeping that child who has autism in
closely.
check. Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Personally, to interrupt, I think that the schools could balance it better. I mean, if it's a class full of normal kids, because I have a niece who's retarded. That's the word, she's retarded. So, okay. I mean, it's going to distract the normal kids from their learning, but I think like maybe PE or art, band, they should integrate the students.
Oh, yeah.
But
creative.
that math, science, they should have their own thing, because they're not going to learn at the same level or speed that the other kids are. And I think it's like bringing everyone down.
Right, and that's the thing.
I think we need to work for every kid so they can be their best. Like, okay, maybe if we have all these kids over here and we're working with them over here, but then they're just like you. They can play kickball, they can play basketball, but they can't do their times tables like you can do yours.
But and that's the thing, and they shouldn't be. And that's how I was saying Washington, they have it set that way, where it's like, great, there are kids who have disabilities but are very advanced intellectually that can go into the classroom and get that education and be on the same level. But not everything they're on the same level with. So it's
a balance thing, and that's what it is. And I totally agree with that. It is. It's not just across the board. This is what it's going to be. You kind of need to look into it. So.
Plus, you got to look. I mean, and that's the sad part, because I keep hearing it, especially with Portland school districts. It's just this overcrowding. Kids aren't getting the attention they need. They're not getting the education that they require, and they fail going out. And how do you how do you succeed?
Yeah.
So
terrible in the Portland public school district.
But
that same thing kind of happened with my niece. She had a girl in class. I think she had the same whatever, autism or whatever. And is that what it is? And she was messing with my niece, and she pulled out one of her braids, and it made me angry. And the school just brushed it.
You know, it made me mad right now.
But not right up at the time.
And so her mom called the school, and the school just kind of brushed it off like, oh, she has her person that was supposed to be there to watch her wasn't there that day, so like just brush it off. No, we paid $55 for them braids. I don't care if one did come out. Exactly. I need a reimbursement.
Exactly.
I don't care what the child has. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
and gas money for going to get the money.
Very hard when you're a parent on the other end. So but it is both ways. I mean, I agree. I see it in both ways.
Right. Yeah. And it wouldn't hurt for I mean, if parents want to get educated. Parents should get educated, you know what I mean? Because you are putting your children in an atmosphere where they are dealing with kids who are of all different functionalities and disabilities and I mean.
Well, I mean, I think it's something that, like you said, I mean, the parents should know too. I mean, we should know that these, are in the classroom so we can help, so we can get, and now that he knows, he kind of understands a little bit more. Right. Before not knowing, he just thought this was a kid that just
freaking him out and it's like, I'm going to kick his ass. I mean, because that's what it comes down to,
Yeah. Right. I mean, put his hands on you, whoop his ass.
Yeah, basically. That's how it was.
That's how you was
calm
brought
down.
up.
Right.
So make sure you win. Yes.
Just make sure you win.
Yeah, that's how I was brought up.
Don't come home, be down.
Yeah. If you don't
make you walk over.
Right.
Without it or not.
It's a mess. Mess.
Yeah. So, like, really quickly, the cell phone. How do you guys feel about that? Is that good or bad? What I feel about it is they took it away for you to wear, like, a Bluetooth, but I don't think that was the thing that was causing the wrecks. I think maybe, like, texting and all that, and people still do that. That's what was.
But you're not supposed to, though. Even if they see that, you're supposed to. Yeah. Did you see the Oprah show the other day that said texting while driving is the equivalent of having 4 drinks and driving?
Because you're not paying attention to the road, basically.
I mean, basically, but I mean, I don't understand. Like, if you're gonna say stop being on your cell phone while driving, you need to stop saying doing anything while driving. Stop eating while driving. Yeah. You have one hand here and you're driving while you're eating. So you're gonna say, if I see you with a burger, I'm pulling you over. I mean.
Well, what I don't
smoking and all that.
Smoking anything with one hand is going to keep your hand from driving.
I feel like if they're going to take away that rule of, because what if there's an emergency? I need to get on here because I see an accident going on. You can't do it. You know what I mean?
And sometimes that Bluetooth don't be connected.
Right. Or why don't you provide people with Bluetooth versus having them have to go, pay for it. But
anyway. Yeah. And then you got to charge. I'm like my friend. She was like, you got to charge the phone and you got to charge the Bluetooth. You got to take both of them. I don't know, but yeah.
How's the hair?
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, you got. That was like, yeah.
Let's see the other side.
That was like, you try to get.
Oh.
Yeah. Made me want to.
Hey, girl, where you work?
Okay, there we go.
You look cute,
that's
girl.
Beautiful.
You ready
that's
to go out
beautiful.
tonight? Right. Yeah, that's make me want to get my look.
Get your hair done.
We gonna talk.
Alrighty, so that, brings us to an end for this show. You can always check us out on
Facebook. In the mix.
Yep, and Pop29, PCMTV.org.
Yes.
Yay! I got it right.